You're on the home stretch. Yes.
I can see. And you know, kitabu tulikuwa nasemanga, in 5 years, election coming 5 years, tukasema 4 years, tukasema 3 years. Now it's 17 days.
No, but particularly for us who are in Kenya Kwanza, we've come a long journey from the time we were called the Tanga Tanga squad, kicked out. There was a time in 2019 we thought 2022 would never come. So we're just excited that it's finally here. We thank God. Yes.
Okay. Are you excited or a bit tensed? What's the feeling?
We're excited. Okay. It's been a journey, and therefore we are very excited. And because we also know that our candidate is going to win. The next president will be William Ruto, no doubt about it. And you can take that to the bank. And that's why I was a bit worried when we started the show. You mentioned that some people are saying it's possible to steal the election. But I think that's something very important. If you allow me to focus on that for a bit.
Yes.
Before we go to other news. Yes. You know, and I'm speaking with authority on this. Okay. I was part of the IIEC team, the Electoral Commission team, that came in after the disbandment of the Kivuitu team. And that was the turning point in election management in Kenya. All right. And this was not just done in a haphazard manner. There was the Kriegler Commission of Inquiry, if you recall.
Yes.
And it inquired into the challenges that we have in elections, what caused the election violence, and what caused for people to doubt the election results, and so on. And it reinterrogated our systems. It made very good recommendations. And what you see today in electoral management is actually what was recommended by Kriegler Commission. I was part of the great team that implemented those recommendations. And it is the foundation that has been the basis of growth of IEBC today. And so, wacha nikwambie vizuri so that you understand. First, tell people it is impossible to steal an election in Kenya.
Now, or it has always been impossible?
No, only now.
Okay.
Before the 2010, before the new system, before in 2007, the system was porous. Let me just give you a few examples. Okay. There's a reason why we have the electronic voter identification, the KIMS kit, where you identify the voter using fingerprints. Okay. The challenge that was found by the Kriegler Commission was that there were dead voters in the register. Okay. But it's not a problem to have dead voters on the register. The problem is when the dead voters vote. Okay. So Kenyans decided they wanted to use fingerprints so that you cannot go and get somebody's finger from the morgue or the grave. So there has to be a live human being who walks to the polling station. And the system does not just pick out one finger. Okay. It has 10 fingers. So if one finger is injured, you go to the next, until the 10th one. Okay. And if the 10th one fails, there's also mechanisms to search you in the system using your identity card, which you personally present at the polling station. So first, the KIMS kit has sorted out that issue. Because also when we had the manual register, at the polling station, which was a printout. Someone could walk into a polling station, you vote, and then they cancel your name out and give you the ink. But what could happen with that is that if at the end of the day, 200 people haven't voted, people in the polling station could collude and just cancel out the names, cross out the names, and vote on behalf of other people. Wow. Okay. So that has been dealt with. The other second issue that was a big problem was that votes can be stolen by voter suppression. So what used to happen, and I'll give the example because you're nearby here, Olympic Primary School was the largest polling station in Kenya. What would happen is they would open very few streams, they called them streams then, so that people would line up, give up, and eventually don't vote. So eventually, the new system that was put in, upon again the recommendations of the Kriegler Commission, was that the polling station should be the size of the number of people who can vote in a day. And this is military precision science. A voter takes on average 5 minutes to vote. And therefore, we came up with a plan that there can only be 700 voters maximum in a polling station.
700.
Yes, because because there is between the opening hours and closing hours of polling, there is 720 minutes. If somebody votes 5 minutes each, it means only 144 people can vote in any particular station in a day. But if you put 6 clerks, then 6 people can vote at a time, and you have 6 booths, which means you can have at least 700 people are capable of voting in a station. Hence the reason. So it wasn't because it came out of somebody's, the top of someone's head. It was clear calculation to cure the challenge that we used to have in the past. Another way that, another issue that was put in there that has helped secure the vote is the Form 34A. The result form is not capable of being photocopied. It has security features. It's almost as secure as a banknote.
Wow, okay.
And what happens is, after the results have been announced, before the results are announced, after they've been counted, the votes have been counted, the figures are put on the result form in conjunction with the agents. So the agents agree who you 300, 400, 100, and so on. And then they all sign. And then once they have all signed, that result form, a copy is put inside. Then the copy is used to announce. Remember, the oral announcement and of and as read of the Form 34A is final in that polling station, not in Bomas of Kenya. It is final in the polling station and cannot be overturned by anyone, not even the chairman of IEBC, unless by a court of law. So that also governed it, because in the past, you would vote there would be voting going on in various classrooms. Let me put it simple so one inch understand. And after you finish, you pack the boxes, carry them to another classroom or a tallying center, and then count them from there. What would happen? People would exchange ballot papers, boxes. And remember, the ballot boxes were black. Today, the new ones are translucent. And no ballot box leaves the polling station until the counting has been done and the box sealed. Announced, the box is sealed. One result form goes inside the box and sealed inside with the ballots. The other one is stuck on top of the ballot box. Another one is other copies are given to all the agents. And another copy is posted at the door of that classroom where the polling station is. And then another copy is then taken to Nairobi, brought to Nairobi.
Bomas of Kenya.
Bomas of Kenya, the hard copy. Right now, IEBC have introduced something. You take off the KIMS kit will be used to take an image copy, a photograph of the result form. And it then transmits it to Nairobi. So even if you kidnapped electronically, so even if you kidnapped the returning officer, all agents have a copy. One is at the door, one is inside the box, another is on top of the box. The evidence is all over the place. And this time, they are going to be allowed to take a video, because with smartphones, you can take a video of the actual announcement. You take a picture of, even agents will take a picture of the result form and transmit it to their various political party headquarters. So that has been cured. And remember, this result form has a QR code, which must be read by the KIMS kit to allow it load and be sent to Nairobi. And in any case, people have talked about, you can interfere with the transmission. Even if you interfere with the transmission, it's a zero-sum game because those are only provisional results. They are not the final results. Another way that the vote has been secured is through the ballot. The ballot paper has no less than 6 security features.
Not less than 6.
Yes, so it's even safer than our banknotes. And come with a QR code again. And therefore, and come in booklets of 50. I don't know if this time they have 50, but traditionally, during my time, there had been booklets of 50. And so agents can do a head count of the people walking into the polling station. And if 48 people have walked into the polling station, if they tell you they want to open a new booklet, you should ask where the other 2 ballot papers. But remember, you would have taken an account of the ballot papers when the polling station opens. So you'll take the serial numbers as an agent, You will see how many, the booklet for result form and this and that.
Okay.
And I think one thing I left out on the issue of the voter identification, if someone doesn't have any fingers or has had injuries on their fingers, what would normally happen, the presiding officer, after you're searched in the system using your ID and it pops up your facial features, your name, ID and polling area will pop up. And when that happens, with the agreement of all the agents, you're allowed to vote. Okay. But the presiding officer must fill a form called 32A, which must be signed by all agents. Okay. So actually, where are they going to steal this from? This is a myth and propaganda that they're selling to Kenyans to make our vote base panic.
But now, Mheshimiwa, we're getting to that about who is saying this. It has come from your camp. I saw a Facebook post that was done by, and a tweet was done by Oscar Sudi, and he was saying that there are centers that are being set up to interfere with the transmission of elections, and actually, in the end, steal your vote. You come from the same camp. You're speaking different languages.
Yes.
So where exactly do you fall in this thing?
You know, what Oscar Sudi was saying was actually allegations, the same things that people say, that these are the plans, this is what is happening. But like I said, I'm speaking from a position of authority and knowledge and an understanding of electoral management and have been involved in building the current system. And that's why we have been very interested in ensuring that we attend all meetings with the IEBC, get assurance that those systems are in fact being implemented. Yesterday, I was at the warehouse where they were labeling and packing the KIMS kits and loading them with the software and the registers before they go out to the field. So we look at that process. That is part of what we are doing. And in fact, statements like the ones that are made by Oscar Sudi are good because when that statement is made, we then go to IEBC as representatives of our political party and say, give us assurance on this point. What are the mechanisms you've put in place? Then you can now say yes. And when Kenyans are not sure of something, it's a good thing for them to speak up. And the Electoral Commission is obligated to answer to us.
To respond.
Yes.
Okay. So there's also been also complaints from your camp about CS Musheru, who is in charge of ICT, and also consequently CAK, Communication Authority of Kenya, on presumed partiality in the way they will run. There are things like leniency. So do you feel that Musheru in any way can interfere with the presidential vote?
What we had a problem with was when CS Musheru stood up in a political rally and assured Baba that he's putting in systems to ensure he wins. That is an alarming statement coming from a public officer. In fact, it's an electoral offense with a jail term of 3 years if you're found guilty. So it's no laughing matter, and we must raise it. And in fact, we have filed a petition to the court over that issue. And it's not just Musheru, it's Matiang'i, it's Professor Kobia, it is Munya, all those people campaigning, public officers campaigning for a specific candidate. But you see, the interference could only have happened through the telephone process system if we were sending a text result message. But we are not sending a text result message. That used to happen in the past. This time, it's an image copy that is being sent. So that means there is no human interference in keying it into another system and cannot be intercepted. Yeah, so I think when that was said, we made sure in our meetings with the IEBC to ask, what are you sending as the provisional result? And remember, it's just a provisional result. So if they interfere with a provisional result, they are not going to kidnap all the agents. They are not going to pull out the result from what was put in. And that's why we are going to encourage all agents. Take a video of the result announcement. Take a picture of the result form. Send it to your political parties and any other media platform. And I hope you will be running it.
We'll be there.
Send it to you.
Yes.
So those naysayers, I think what happened is because Raila Odinga bargained on this, he believed that because he had the favor and support of the president and the entire government machinery, he assumed there is some magic that they can play. But unfortunately for him, tell him this is post-2007. The world changed a long time ago. You obviously are not aware of it.
So unless watangaze mtu usiku kwa lazima. Aya.
But remember, the Tangaza, Chebukati anaweza tangaza only what was announced at the polling station, not his own figures. He cannot change what was brought from the polling station. So, in fact, when they were attacking Chebukati, I told them they don't realize that it is not Chebukati. It is the returning officers in the 48,000 plus polling stations that you have to contend with. And several party agents and individual candidate agents to contend with. Wajinga Kenyans are so aware, and that's why I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this on this show, because it's important that we empower Kenyans, how the system is, so that they themselves can take it upon themselves to take care of the vote. Okay.
All right, before we get to the airport saga, because we had IBC, you can clarify that for us. But before we get there, history algorithm, they said in 2017 that yini watu wa Jubilee mlikuwa mmeweka kitu ilikuwa inaitwa 54%. Whatever happens, inakwama about 54%. Algorithms in terms of getting votes. Is it there? Is it possible? Does this thing happen?
I think that vifaranga ya whatever.
Vifaranga vya computer.
Yeah, that is the biggest lie ever told in Kenya. It's beyond a joke, because I've just told you it's the hard copy result form that is the result. Okay. And therefore, it doesn't matter if anybody introduced anything into the computer. You know, the provisional results, the reason why it was implemented is because the Kriegler Commission found that the anxiety levels in Kenya at the time we were waiting for the final announcement is not good for the political temperatures. Okay. And you don't want people to suddenly hear the result. So you sort of want to prepare them. You want to work with them as the results are being counted. Okay. So you announce the provisional results as announced through a quick system to keep the temperatures down, the anxiety down, because any anxiety can spark of violence. Because if you remember in 2007, what sparked of violence is people are expecting a different result. And when it happened, it sparked violence. But this time you prepare people, you create a mood of acceptance. So that is the only purpose for it, was to manage the over-anxious nature of Kenyans, myself included. But it is not a final result. So they should ask themselves, what was in the form 34s? And I think the Supreme Court said there was a problem because IEBC did not have all the form 34s. That was the challenge. Okay. And neither did ODM because they didn't have agents in certain areas. So, but this time you can see that IEBC is because IEBC thought as long as they receive the provisional results, they don't need the hard copy result. But that was clarified by the Supreme Court. Here's the reason why it was nullified. And this time, Chebukati is extremely clear. So this time you're not going to be looking at 54%. You will have an actual image copy of what was announced at the polling station, and all you have to do is compare with the one that your agent has. And the one that is outside the building of the polling station. So this time, they don't have to worry about an algorithm. That was, how else would Raila Odinga step down gracefully and say that I did lose without embarrassing himself and losing the confidence of his supporters? He has to make up a story. That's why most politicians say niliibiwa kura. They never say they lost.
Ukianguka unasema niliibiwa. Yes, just story mtu alisema nilianguka. Haya. Airport at the airport of Venezuela has been found with 7 or 70 rolls. Okay.
I think the nation reported 17.
17. Okay. 17 rolls of IBC stickers.
Yes.
First of all, stickers gani, because whenever you walk in the village you find stickers kwa kiosk, unapata stickers kwa pikipiki imeandikwa IBC, unapata sticker kwa matatu imeandikwa IBC. Let's begin with this. Which stickers are these? Umesikia story ya stickers?
What I know is what I have seen in the nation. They say that it was stickers that are used, 17 rolls of election stickers from various constituencies somebody had them in his bag. So I think for me, I don't know what the details are because I think we are yet to get proper information from IEBC. IEBC has said they've received stickers to aid labeling and distribution of election materials. I was at IEBC yesterday and I watched keenly the packing of the election materials as a representative of UDA, together with another person from UDA. And I saw those stickers, but what I know is the stickers are generated there. And we were told that. Yes. But even in any case, let's assume they are bringing them from outside the country. Then the question should be, are they brought in a suitcase? Even when we printed manifestos for the UDA and they were done just locally, they don't come in a suitcase. They're actually delivered in boxes, which marks how many are inside, in packages of how many, and they're delivered to an actual location. Not a human being carries them. They're a courier service who signs for them, and when they are delivered, they are signed for. So in my experience in elections, I have never seen any election materials that, especially for a general election, coming in a suitcase. Even UDA, if you see the photographs of when the boxes arrived, the ballot boxes arrived, when the ballot papers arrived, they were packaged professionally. They even have a barcode on top of every box that indicates where they are destined and so on. And there is a dispatch list that accompanies it. So this is a bit odd, but I can't say much about it because we only heard about it yesterday evening. So we will know what will happen. And I'm sure as political parties, we are going to ask for a meeting with the IEBC commissioners to get a solid explanation. Yes.
All right. So do you think Kenya should be worried? Because the conversation right now, even I'm seeing on the comment section, is coming up. What is the issue of the 3 smartmatic foreigners being arrested? Hatutaki vifaranga. Should they be worried? Stickers naza leta shida kidogo, or it's also an indicator on how they're handling electoral
When they
materials?
say smartmatic, because I've been to the warehouse, the ones that you see there are barcodes. Yes. And so it's not the kit, it's the barcodes. But we should ask, what were those barcodes doing in someone's? I think the question that I can obviously ask, because it's confirmed by the media, is that how come they were coming in a carton box? Because usually they would actually leave with a dispatch list. The airport would be informed. They would have security, and they would be delivered to the government supplies warehouses in industrial area. They don't just go anywhere. Yes.
All right.
This is not clothes that somebody was bringing into the country.
Even if it means other things.
Yes. The good thing is that the electoral process is very transparent. It involves very many people. And IEBC is required to be very transparent about it and explain. At the warehouse, when you go for the meetings, you ask, where is the QR code generated from? Where does this happen? At what stage will you know? Whose fingerprint will be used? When is it authenticated? Is it in advance or at site? And so on. When is the training happening? So we ask about, suppose the battery fails, they tell you we have a power backup. Suppose the KIMS kit fails, they explain to you that they have extra KIMS kits should one fail. So they have spare ones in every ward and within less than half an hour from the polling station, so they can be replaced immediately.
Very quickly.
Yes, yes. And then areas there is no fiber optic or internet connectivity. They've shown us, and we've tested the satellite phones, and those satellite phones will be at every, even places where there is network, they have it at every tallying center.
So they are not worried about network anymore. Finally, Mheshimiwa,
yes,
you speak for a coalition, Kenya Kwanza. I want to presume so. Do you have absolute confidence in IEBC to conduct a credible, verifiable election?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, because, and again, like I said, it's been, you'll see that UDA is on record on Kenya Kwanza for writing a lot of letters to IEBC, asking for clarification on this point and the next point, because that's how actually build confidence in an electoral process. When there is a question, we ask it. You'll notice that the first time they did the result transmission simulation, it failed. But we have subsequently had another one 2 days ago, and it was successful. And we worried about it being slow, and we raised that with them. And they did explain to us that no, it can take a lot of information at once. They did tell us that day during the simulation, they couldn't send from Mandera. But because they'll have satellite phones at the tallying center, at worst case scenario, if they can't transmit from the polling station, they will be able to transmit from the constituency tallying center. And in any case, we must remind Kenyans that the electronically transmitted result is not the result. It is the hard copy result, which is in the hands of all agents. It's in the site where the announcement was made. It's what the returning officer has won. And if push comes to shove, the court can order for the ballot box to be opened for you to get out the one that is sealed inside the ballot box. So there is a lot of safeguards. We will continue for the coming days to work with IEBC to ensure that nothing is left to chance. And that's why even this issue that has happened at the airport, my reaction is immediately ask for a meeting with IEBC for a clarification, because we can't take what has been put in the newspaper or that it is the truth. We want to ask them, what were they doing? Who were they? What, why were they in a suitcase? Then they can tell us.
There might be another Sagasian. Okay. All right. So absolute confidence, UDA is saying, Hema Kenya Kwanza is saying it has absolute confidence.
A great extent, and we will keep working with them to improve it. Yes.
And they're saying they'll work with them. They'll continue writing letters. By the way, you've been writing a lot of love letters to
No, but that's what you're supposed to do. In fact, it was recommended by the Kriegler Commission that, this is called preventive
measures.
Because you don't want to wait until everything has gone wrong.
Then
you now start going to court and raising a problem. We at Kenya Kwanza want to raise the issues as a preventive measure and to strengthen IEBC to run a credible election. They have our support for that. But it doesn't mean we can't call them out when we are suspicious.
When you feel you're not confident.
But that is the way to help the Electoral Commission.
Right. Yes. Okay. You can send in your questions as well on the comment section on YouTube as well, and on Facebook. You can send in your questions to Uliza Mheshimiwa. Ernest Cherian, good morning. Good morning to you. Vision Football, Total Kenya. Good to see you, my brother. Say hello to Honorable SHOLLEI. And I'm watch from London, but I'm now watching you from Kithurai 45. Great show. Thank you so much.
It's nice. I hope he came to vote.
He's actually around. He was on the show. A very good gentleman. He has a manifesto called Linda Wanjiku Manifesto.
Okay.
Nice. Maybe I'll share it with you.
And you share it with me, please.
I'll share it with you sometime so you can look at it. I think that's some very good proposals, especially.
I realize something. Kenyans have so many. Kenyans know the problems. We have highly educated Kenyans. Kenyans who have spent years researching. We had a meeting with civil society. We listened to the Institute of Budget Initiative or something like that. What they were recommending was almost duplicate to what we had a team of economists working on for Kenya Kwanza. So, then we did have a meeting with them. The Deputy President was present. And he told them, I want you to work with us. There is a civil society coalition group that is called Okoa Uchumi. Again, they have very good proposals on what can be done. We had meetings with the Food Coalition, which I'm a member of. And we have a food manifesto, how to ensure food security. And sustainably so, how to ensure that we not only have food, but food that is safe and nutritious. Okay. So Kenyans are brilliant. They just haven't had leadership that harnesses that knowledge and uses it for the better good of the country.
For policy, right? Okay, that's it for him. Timothy Kiprano watching from Boston. Good to see you guys from diaspora. It's always a pleasure to have you, diasporans, on the show. David Akera, what is the issue of the trees? But I think we have already explained that. That is also mathematics foreigners. Stephen Mayo, Gerald, good morning. Say hi to Madam Women Rep. I was in GISHU County. Carol Atieno, good morning, Bitok, watching from Kisumu City. What about Kisumu City? Mambo vipi? Aheri. Njoen Jagi, good morning. Good morning to you, Njoen Jagi. Vision Football Kenya. Bitok, please ask Honorable SHOLLEI this important question. Why was the Office of Data Commissioner formed under the Ministry of ICT and under Joe Musheru? It should be independent. This was part of the issue about, remember right to privacy
of your data is a right that is in the Constitution of Kenya. And therefore, the government is obligated to come up with mechanisms to ensure that that right is actually achieved for Kenyans. The methodology of doing it is one thing. And it was around the same time that government was setting up the Huduma number. And which Huduma number process cost Kenyans billions of shillings. But today we don't use the Huduma number. We are just still back to our IDs. So, and Kenyans went to court about it. And the court did find that the Huduma number was unconstitutional because it breached that part of data protection and right to privacy. The data commissioner is supposed to, that office of the data commissioner, which falls under the Ministry of ICT, is supposed to do that. It was one of those knee-jerk reactions. We were waiting to see what work can be done with it going forward.
All right. That is it for you, Vision. Jeff Chalo, watching from Juba, South Sudan. Thank you so much, guys, from Sudan as well. Butela Will. Hello, Bitok. Leo show is on another level. Umetuletea guru herself. I doubt if Bichachi will come. Everyone fears to debate with SHOLLEI. Okay. Prince Eddie. Amesema kujiani. Sijui labda ukweli he has entered grass. Okay. Prince Eddie. Hi, Bitok. Prince Eddie from Lamu. Tell SHOLLEI we have so much love for her in Lamu. Aja kwa umendrapu wetu. Amesema ukimalizana na wasingishu, wame wende Lamu.
Mtakuja holiday huko tukimalizana na hii kazi kubwa. Tutakuwa tumechoka sana.
That's the beauty of Kenyan democracy. Ukimalizana hapa unaenda mahali pengine.
Unaenda pale pengine.
Waititu alimaza akaenda Kiambu. So mko alikuwa anaenda Mombasa. So ukimaliza wamesema uteremke Lamu.
Kabisa, asante.
Davis Kalman, Gladys Bosch is so knowledgeable on the issue. It is enlightening listening to her watching from Kajiado County. Thank you. Petro, good morning, Gerald, watching from Utawala, Nairobi. Utawala, mambo vipi? Okay, let me look. I'm trying to look at the comment at the Facebook on comment section. I've been having a problem with my Facebook kidogo, but let me see what I can find. Abas Juguna, could this sticker issue be the normal drama to negatively paint a picture, or who is playing who in this matter? Nasema inaweza kuwa mambo ya sticker ni sinema ya kuleta negative picture about IBC.
Yeah, like I said, I think I will know more when we find out more information from IBC. So I think we'll be letting you know. In fact, I'll give you something that you can report to your listeners.
Please,
tomorrow.
I'll be waiting.
Yes,
you need to give us some sound bites on the same. All right, Orina Ontiri, loud and clear. Good to see you, Orina. Farid Faraji, this lady is on another level. After Joyce Laboso, GLADYS is flying the Kalenjin women flag. So keep it up, Mama. Rugut Kimtai, why is Zuru depressed until he wants to jail IBC? Does Ruta aware of this plan plot they're trying to steal this election? Ama kitu gani? Wamesema election haiwezi biwa. SHOLLEI amesema it cannot.
Yeah.
It cannot.
But also remember, Kenya Kwanza has been campaigning hard. William Ruto has been working at this seat for the last 30 years. If he was somebody who thought he can steal, then he would not be working this hard. If you're doing 10 rallies a day, does that look like somebody who's counting on stealing? Yes, he was accused of starting his campaigns early. Yes, that is how you win an election, is by working hard. But those who sat down and did not and hurriedly picked a running mate, you know, it shows that were they prepared? Up to today, our opponents have gone to court to demand that they want the picture of the running mate on the ballot. They have gone to court to say that they want the manual register at the polling station, because they are imagining there is something that a system that might come up to save them and make them win. But that is not the way to win elections. Winning elections is about going to Kenyans and asking for their vote and telling Kenyans that you understand their issues and what you can do to resolve their issues. That is how you get the vote. I know that Oburu Odinga is quoted as having said, Raila has always lost an election because hakukuwa na system. Lakini sasa tuko na system. You know, but you know what? That system could only help you pre-2007. After the Kriegler Commission of Inquiry and the systems that were put there, yes. But we are any concerns that you have with IEBC, it's important to raise them.
Okay.
Thank you, Gerald.
Mirabella is saying, boss is a good representative, UDNH. I remember one of the swipes on her during the nominations that she is always on TV. They're allowed to repeat her responses she gave Uko ground. Okay. Steven Chemos, as the mayor in panic mode in the stop intimidating IBC Isolation movement.
But you know what, Gerald? I think one thing when people said that, I know that some of my opponents already accused me of being on TV. But when I come on TV, I come as a representative of the people of UASIN GISHU. I also come as a representative of many women who have faith in me. I also come as a representative of the Kenya Kwanza dream, which actually is the aspirations of most Kenyans. Kenyans want the cost of living brought down. So if I'm fighting for a party that can bring that change, create employment, ensure food security, revive agriculture, which we have a challenge with in UASIN GISHU, particularly, then I am speaking for my people. You know,
Bado ni kazi.
No, what is the job of an MP? A representation and legislation and oversight. Those three things. And you know what? What I was so happy about, the people of UASIN GISHU said you represented as well. During the BBI process, the people of UASIN GISHU were against the passing of BBI. And every time I spoke on TV against it, I was representing them. I was their voice. Or else tungekuwa wapi saizi. Yes. So I'm always doing it for the people of UASIN GISHU County. Thank you, Gerald.
It's for the people. All right. Rogut, Farid Faraji, ask her about Nyayo Stadium. Where can they take sports to Kodesa? But we're coming back to that shortly. Rohi Williams, V1. Gerald will say hi to my associate GLADYS, boss SHOLLEI. Solomon Biranga Chege. Boss is the real Iron Lady. Okay. Mwabal Gaddafi, Larry Chiriat watching from Embakasi. Karioki Francis, good morning, Bito from Naivasha. Good to see you. Farid Faraji, this woman and a half DP should capitalize on. Rohi says Kenya Kwanza are lucky they are focused leaders, not like ODM. They're waiting only to be instructed by who. Everyone's comment. Good morning, Mheshimiwa. Thank you for taking time to educate the people on election matters. Askamebur, good to see you. Hello to my Moi girls classmate watching from Canada. What were the diaspora? Classmates of Manza kujitokeza.
What were Moi G?
You need to be paying me for reunion. See, now I'm doing reunion for you.
Kabisa.
That one's for that. All right. Ane mwingine hapa. Okay. Keep Victor. Okay, before Abbas Njuguna, is she comfortable with deployment of more security service of women apart from the police at polling stations?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, women are 52% of our population. How can a country grow or make progress or achieve anything when you leave half your population behind? Yeah, it's even I tell a country, if you want to have economic transformation, you must include women because you cannot grow economically when you leave 52% of your workforce behind. In fact, women empowerment is an economic imperative. And William Ruto gets it. That's why he said at least 10 cabinet posts in his government will go to women. That 50% of the Hustler Fund will go to women, 25 billion, because it is an economic imperative. You cannot be able to get any economic transformation without women. And look at even the basic level at the village. At the village, go to any homestead. The woman most likely goes to milk the cows. She comes and chuchukas it, puts it in the drum, sends it to KCC or to whichever other processor, or even sells it to the nearby school. Yes, the money will come to the man, but who is the laborer and the producer? Who is in the production chain? It's always women.
Okay.
Yes. It's so the chickens that people eat in the house. It's women who are looking after them. The goats. So women are a significant part of the entire economic space. Right. Without them, I think this economy would collapse.
Mambo inakuwa ngumu. Yes, okay, Kipro Victor, good morning. Jina beto salimia wakili hapo amesalimika. Captain Kipto Moi, Kenyans are wise. Okay. Wilson, good morning. Salimia GBS. We are climax of the campaigns. We need to win. Kindly let Ruta engage on eye level. All right. Let's go quickly because of time. Kama uko na shughuli kidogo. Because of time, let's go to mambo ya Nyayo. Okay.
Nyayo,
Kasarani.
Nyayo is a very simple issue. Usually to be able to get your campaign schedules approved, You have a meeting with IEBC as the various presidential candidates, and they harmonize our campaign schedule so that it does not clash. So the date of the 6th was already confirmed at the IEBC meetings by Kenya Kwanza. We then went ahead and paid for it. Booked, got a contract, made the payment. And after a while, we get a letter. Because Azimio has not booked it formally by that time, neither was it in their agenda when we went for the meetings with the IEBC. We receive a letter from Sports Kenya, which not only tells us that there is a peace concert happening in Nyayo Stadium, but gives us additional information which we did not seek, that also Kasarani is not available. So basically they were telling us, we are locking you out of Nyayo Stadium, and by the way, we are locking you out of Kasarani. What are these peace events? They are not a political activity. And I think the peace concerts I've heard about and peace rallies that were being conducted across the country and peace caravans were actually being run by the Ministry of Interior. This is another form of state capture. That they actually use the state to frustrate the opponent of their preferred candidate. That is exactly what's happening. They want Azimio to have the space, and they don't want William Ruto to have a strong, powerful finish. But unfortunately for them, we are very intelligent about the way we go about our business. We have a written contract. Sports Kenya is in breach of contract. I have no doubt that the court is going to uphold our stay in that.
So you're going to court?
Yes, of course we have to go to court, because where else do we go? If we have given them, we have said this is the position. When you breach a contract, you pay for it. And those peace concerts can be had the following day on the 7th, and they can be held on the 4th. But you see, for us, the only day that we have is the 6th, because the 6th is the last day of campaigns. The IEBC has our schedule day by day till the last day, the 6th. So where did this come from, apart from trying to frustrate us? But that's a very cheap stunt. That's how low the government has come in support of Raila Odinga. And I don't think it helps him, because our supporters are upset.
Okay. Yes. I'll let you go in 7 minutes.
Thank you.
Exactly. Finally, on the issues of Ugali politics, we've seen the other day, the president announced a subsidy. And by the way, he was in Arusha. Amekuwa Arusha jana. He was in Arusha yesterday. He had issues with his deputy. Anyway, so
he also said that in Tanzania.
Yes, he was in Arusha yesterday.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah,
you don't go out of another country as a sitting head of state to gossip. Shame on him.
It was a development conference, regional development conference.
Then you talk about your deputy.
And you are criticizing for investing money in roads, and he's going to international media to say tumejenga barabara, tumejenga reli.
I think we Kenyans have the hashtag Maliza Uende. That's the place where we have reached with Uhuru Kenyatta. So it's okay. He's finishing his term. Let him. Yeah, we don't want to fight with him. We are grateful that he has reduced the price of unga, as nonsensical as it was and haphazardly where it was delivered, because you have a retailer who bought it for 200 shillings and they are making 20 bob or 40 bob on it. Are you going to tell them to sell it for 100 shillings? I mean, who's going to do it in between? And remember, the retailer, the small kiosks in the village, buy it from a local wholesaler. The local wholesaler buys it from another bigger wholesaler, and the bigger wholesaler buys it from the miller. So it's not something that you implement overnight.
Overnight, yes. It's a process.
Yes, he should have done this last year.
And this is not a new issue. I remember in 2017, kulikuwa na ile unga ya GOK, 90 shillings. I remember it was labeled 90 shillings. Now, you're seeking government as Kenya Kwanza. What do you think is the perfect solution around the cost of living and food security?
Food security, first of all, in I think far back as 2017, Kenya was importing. Our food imports was worth 160 billion. Today it has risen to 360 billion. Relying on imported food is not sustainable. Yet in Kenya we have the land, and we have the labor, and we have the people who traditionally, that's what they do. Food production is a tradition and a culture. All you have to do is invest in agriculture so that you can increase productivity. And farmers stop planting when the cost of inputs is too high, to the extent that they are unable to make any business sense out of it. So it's very easy to do it. There just has to be good political goodwill, focus, and working with the professional Kenyans. Because you talk to any Kenyan professional, they have a very good roadmap. If you read our plan, they have a very good roadmap on what we need to do.
Okay. As I let you go, we had a debate.
And I always use the example of President Mutharika, late, of Malawi. When he took over Malawi, it was a food deficient country. He made himself president and Minister of Agriculture. He then gave inputs to everybody who had land.
Okay.
And so if you had an acre, you got inputs for an acre. If you had half an acre, if you had 10 acres, and so on. Do you know that there was a bumper harvest at the end of that year? And your only account to the country was to have planted that May. And you know, Malawi moved within 2 years. They had moved from a food deficient country to a food surplus country and were exporting.
Wow. Okay.
It is possible.
So we'll see that in Kenya Kwanza.
One focus by one man.
Tutakuwa na mahindi kila mahali.
Yes.
Ugali itakuwa inatosha. All right. We had a debate last week on Tuesday. On Tuesday. Tulikuwa na debate Tuesday. You have any review of that?
Sorry? Yes, our candidate did extremely well. Okay. We're very proud of him. And we didn't expect any less.
All right.
Yes.
Tuesday?
I was there.
Tuesday, what do you expect next Tuesday?
You know, the deputy president is a seasoned debater. Okay. He debates every day, has been doing it for 30 years. He has, he's had shows with you people. He has been, he was on KTN recently. Yes. Has been on Citizen Live, has been...
I don't know why he has not come in.
Inoro, etc.
When hajafika hapa? Na ndio bottom up.
No, by the way,
why is he not here?
He'll be happy to come here anytime. The problem is time now.
I'll follow him wherever he is.
Yeah, you'll follow him wherever he is. Okay, we'll tell him.
I'll come wherever he is.
He never, believe me, if he had more time of in has, there's nothing he loves more than engage with the people. Yes.
Okay, so atakuja.
Yes.
Oh, and unfortunately, I have to let Mheshimiwa go unless you have one last word.
I'm running late for my meeting.
Unless you have one last word.
My bosses will put me in trouble.
Unless kama uko na mambo ya mwisho wa kuambia.
What I just want to say that I thank Kenyans for their overwhelming support to our party and to our party leader. We appreciate it from the bottom of our heart because it's not. I said to myself, this is just the power of the grace of God and people, because for him to be doing so well, yet he has the force and might of not only a sitting president, but the entire state machinery, the entire cabinet fighting him, and he can still make this great step. Kenyans should know you are more powerful than any government as Kenyan people. And on the 9th, you come out and exercise that power. Then you can have the Kenya that you want. A Kenya that will put you first. That's why we say Kenya Kwanza.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming in. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for making time. Although it may go on short time, but I hope next time you're able to spend some more time.
Yes.
I know you guys are busy now. So
it's injury time.
Whatever you can juggle in, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Just for the records, I had invited 2 guests, Mheshimiwa GLADYS SHOLLEI and Mark BICHACHI. Up to this point, Mark BICHACHI was to be here in 5 minutes, around 7:30, 7:25. He has not arrived. It's 8:29, 1 hour later. We are here to see him. So we've given everybody an opportunity to come and express themselves. He's yet to communicate where he is and why he's not come. But we'll keep the conversation going. We're putting up a Google link so that we can have a conversation together. But we are letting Mheshimiwa go, akimbia kazi zingine.
Yes.
Alafu basi, we can keep this conversation going. Thank you, Mheshimiwa.
Asante sana. And thank you for having me.
Anytime, you're most welcome. Dozar, good morning, GB. I salute Honorable Boss. Keep doing what you do. Kindly explain to those who believe that targeted individual fight against corruption is no fight, but institutionalization is the way to go. Okay. And mwingine, Fusion Tutual Kenya Sholei and Kenya Kwanza should seek compensation and accountability from the person who double booked the venue. Stephen Barmasai, why is GLADYS and company so bitter with Uhuru, who was rejected Ruta and company because of Ufisadi? Okay. John Jagi, Mark BICHACHI is a no-show. No-show. So far, no-show. Carol Longit, keep going, Asante. Strong girl as women are fate. Asante. Football Kenya asked Sholei, why does Kenya ask no Minister of Justice? I think he'll be able to get back to us at a Trudia. When next time he comes, he'll give us a conversion on that. Stephen Barmasa, good morning, Bitok and GLADYS. Please ask GLADYS if the capture of Western Hotel and the 15,000 acres ADC land isn't another form of state capture. Yeah, interesting question. Abbas Njuguna, we can show up here. Okay. Let me see where I left it. Okay. Ask my board, good to see you this morning. CK Kipto, Kenyans are wise. Wilson Koech, good morning. Salimia GBS, our super MP. We are at the climax of campaigns. We need to win on perception. Kindly let Ruto engage on high-level mega rallies. Okay, Simon Samuelson Thika. Hey, good morning, General Paz. My regards to all panelists watching from Nakuru. Good to see you, Brian Kim Tai, to Chereber, to tuned in now. Women rep. Roy Williams V. I find this funny. In 2013-2017, William Samuel Ruto was Uru's advisor. He was steering the Jubilee perfectly. Now the crazy thing. Imagine Uru's advisor of Raila Odinga. How will that work? Okay. Kipkwechuli ambia Bichachi akuje tu tutajifanya SHOLLEI yuko. Tosha. Sila Saina, welcome my human rep watching from KSS. Isaac Kabur mwenyewe, good morning from Abuja. Ala, umetoka so ukaenda Abuja. There are bit of regards to the boss. We are tuned in. Asante sana. Roy Williams Fish. Gladys Bushole she's very smart politician. Leader, if Kenya Kwanza secure victory, they should consider SHOLLEI to shine. She's really working hard. Evajep Kemoy, good morning. Mera, boss is a good representative. UDA needs, I remember one of the swipes on the nomination days. I think we have spoken on that. Ilari Kurui, boss SHOLLEI is a great orator and she argues from logic. SK Romney, good morning, Gerald. As I say I to my county women rep watching from Minnesota. My question is, what is the worst that can happen if victory one will be denied? Is KK afraid about President reshuffling the military and making changes? Toto Pendo following, good morning. They're even writing in their billboards in some parts of the country that Usioge Rao, simply because people have not actually believed it is the Rao they know that is being imposed on them. Okay. Toto Pendo watching live from Kisii. Gladys, you really inspire me. Murakim Ambia Madam SHOLLEI, the tall, dark and beautiful lawyer from UG. Tunapenda na vile ana carry out legal affairs. SK Lagar, good to see you, SK Lagar. It's been a long time. So good morning, Mheshimiwa. How is the political situation in Kenya compared to the last elections? Mark is just an outside watching. He would shortlist reservists when SHOLLEI is gone. Susana Nyakiru, Boss Lodi, oh yeah. Okay. All right. That was it. I'm trying to see if I can have you guys on Google Meet, but you can call in 0779-800-010 or 779-800-010. Joseph Maina, wewe bwana unaanza throw shots. You are throwing shots bwana. Anasema SHOLLEI, can I be your daughter's girlfriend? Joseph, how can you be a daughter's girlfriend? Is it girlfriend or boyfriend? All right, good morning. All right. Joseph Minor, SHOLLEI, can I be your daughter's girlfriend? Surely jameni, Jose. Unataka kwa girlfriend ama kwa boyfriend? Okay. They're watching from Qatar. BICHACHI is doing a great job. But BICHACHI is not here. He has not shown up. So, I don't know. You guys have seen him. Mute on your side. Mute yako ya simu. Okay. We have a Google link here, so you can join in the conversation. I'm putting in, let me see. Kuna link hapo, you can join the conversation shortly so that you can have a conversation together. Join the conversation. Okay. All right, you can join the conversation. I'm saying there's a link that we posted there. So you can either join the conversation, you can call us on 0779-800-010 or 779-800-010 or 779-800-010 or 779-800-010. You can call in or you can join the conversation. You can see that you can either call in ama uweze kujumuika na sisi or you can wameweza kuingia. Okay? Good morning. Good morning. Shagu. Ama nani ameweza kuingia hapo? Okay. Kiblating Shagu. I can't hear you. If you're there, please unmute yourself and speak. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Mambo vipi? Sikuwa ni video kwa wapi?
Video yangu icon?
Iko off bwana.
Labda niangalie.
Okay. Who was joined in this morning again? Augustine Kipkaji, good morning. Augustine, good morning. Okay. Shango, you can just speak. Hata kama video ipo, please proceed to speak. Mbio. Tutafunga in the next 10 minutes. Shago, tuambie. Okay. Augustine, tuambie. Good morning.
Yeah, very good morning. I've just joined.
Leta habari.
Yeah, sina neno. Yes, I've not had the conversation, but I like your forums.
Thank you, my brother.
They are very good. Thank you.
Barikiwa sana. Haya, Kiblating Shagu, mambo vipi? Kama umerudi wewe tiambie, just unmute yourself and speak. Kiblating.
Yeah, good morning.
Bas, nimekuona. Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, leta habari baba.
How is the going?
The going is unga is now 90 shillings. He's trying to get more unga.
Unfortunately, I no longer do the ugali because I'm in South Korea. So
Are you in South Korea?
Yeah, sure.
South Korea mnakula nini? Noodles?
Mbona tukule noodles? Kwani sungesema hata kimchi.
Okay, so what are you having in South Korea?
We have some rice and everything else, but I want to say we are doing well.
Okay, so any comments that you have regarding what is going on in the country at the moment?
Yeah, of course. I am concerned. I've been following, but by and large, what is going on in the country.
Okay.
A close concern with a view of both trying to understand what are the major issues that are arising. The debate that was ended through the deputy presidentials. The debate that is coming probably next week.
Okay.
But when I want to comment that it was a platform that could allow everyone to listen when we really see the response that all the candidates give, because this is the only platform where we can listen to their issues without any political, in quotes, concept in terms of trying to share some issues. However, listening to them, especially that with the difference of 6 hours, which I had to wake up to listen to them, I was a bit
amazing.
Not satisfied. In the case of trying to bring in some issues that were being discussed during the presidential, and I wish that we could move away from the issues of struggling with the history of the person, personality, the issues where what do we want? I'm saying this concept through an history where I've tried to reread and even revisit the histories of other nations that have democracies on their part.
Okay.
What they really discussed when it comes to the presidential debate, what they really discussed on that platform.
Okay.
It is about trying to woo voters and especially to tell them that this is what I want to come and do.
Okay.
And unlike just taking it the horn by the bull and saying you have done this, the blame game and the shifting of the goalpost to say I am good and you are bad because you have done this in the history and I have not done this in the history. I think that is exactly what we want to move from and discuss some real issues. What do you want to come and do, especially when we give you a chance to serve us for the next 5 years? You will be in charge of the economy of the country. You will be you will be the pilot of everything. If it is about the flight, you are the one. If you crash the pilot, all of us will crash.
Okay.
The plane. So what do you want to come and do? This is the issues that I'm expecting that we also come and discuss come presidential debate on Tuesday. And so as the issues unfold, the second one that could have catch my attention this morning was the issue of the IBC, the Venezuela thing that there were some guys who were being arrested in the airport. I think we should, the independence of the IBC should be paramount at this stage. And of course, we should allow them just to be the chairman, and those who are on the communication of the IBC should also be keen just to share information.
Okay.
You imagine we got the letter in the Twitter. Some of us, we could read the letter in the Twitter this morning and we were like surprised that the IBC is trying to seek and request the government, the police to release some of the the people who are coming to do some of the things to empower our net on the election issues and the preparation of the election.
Okay.
For me, it should be not that way, as long as if there was a clear communication between the IBC and the authorities who are concerned with the security, then it should be clear that what is it that is coming on to punch the hole into all things that have been created, so that it doesn't look as if we are losing confidence on the preparation, on the what they are coming up with. And of course, IBC should give not only the confidence to the parties, but to the nation and to that mwananchi mwenye anataka kuja kuvote. I think those are one of the things we need to come up clearly. Thank you so much, Bito. I'm grateful to join and, of course, have the conversation.
I'm happy as well to meet you and say hi to watu wa South Korea. Nitakuja huko mnitafutie visa. Nitakuja kutembea.
Haya, come.
Asante. Farid Faraji, good morning. Farid Faraji, please unmute yourself and speak if you're still there. Farid.
Good morning, Gerald.
Good morning to you. Wapi wewe? Wapi sura?
Sura iko, sura ndio nataka ama sauti?
Nataka yote. Lakini endelea basi.
Just a bit, let me unmute the video in a minute.
Okay. But proceed, you can proceed, please. Because of time. Please proceed.
Good morning, Gerald.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing?
I'm very fine.
Good to hear from you hapa. Wewe ni mwakwanga mtu wa simu lakini basi finally tumeona daktari sura. Habari yake?
At least umeka sura kwa sauti.
Haya, please give us your review.
Okay, my concern is about the Nyayo thing, The Nyayo Stadium. It is so politically so low that the government of the day and the project are going too low to an event where they are trying to lock people from venues. However much the country is so big, when somebody has planned himself or herself for a specific place, they have their own specific reasons.
Okay.
Even though they can go to Nakuru, Kakamega, or any other place, but they chose Nairobi because it's a central place and it's the final rally to show a final a unity of the whole country. Because if you are in Mount Kenya, you can access Nyayo. If you are in Nakuru, you can access Nyayo. It is so accessible for people from outside Nairobi.
Okay.
My other concern is about the IEBC staff that are being threatened. I should just encourage them not to go down to intimidation. Let them just give us credible elections so that we are happy with the outcome of the results. Number 4, let ODM and Kuzimia people get their own agenda. Because if you listen to them, they were yesterday in West Pokot, the other day they were in Turkana and Elgeyo Marakwet. But they have given nothing as an agenda to their supporters. It is just excitement, Muizi, Yule, Muizi, this one. There's nothing much they are giving to the Kenyan electorate. They should define themselves as an opponent of William Ruto, give an alternative government. Going to elect your president, you should be weighing them in terms of points. Who is giving me more points than the other? Not that who has been called a thief more than the other, who has been called so and so more than the other.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Gerald.
Thank you so much, my brother. Joseph Maina, good morning.
Welcome.
Joseph Maina, unmute yourself, sir. Unmute yourself, Joseph. Unajiongelesha. Joseph Maina, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
He's muted.
You are muted, Joseph Maina. Okay. Yes, Emma, good morning.
I want to ask Madam Sholei something.
Ameenda lakini uliza tu. Okay. Meeting ya Nyayo Stadium, haya sawa. Wamesema wanaenda kotini. Yeah. Okay. Sawa. Thank you. It's been a pleasure having you guys on the panel. Request when Mona Bichachi ameingia lakini sasa atawasalimia tu alafu tufunge studio kwa sababu sasa it's uncharacteristic.
That you're called. I had a small issue. I ran in with a very uncooperative traffic officer.
Ungenipigia simu.
No, I sorted it out. So poleni sana, I came to apologize for being late. It is wrong before God and man to make a promise and not show up. So I apologize profusely. Poleni sana.
Profusely. But you're not apologizing profusely.
What should I be on my knees? I am sorry, viewers and listeners.
All right. So anyway, I don't know if there's any important thing that you want to put across.
Yeah.
Because you're closing.
No, I think the most important thing is a few days to the elections. Kenyans need to really look at the character of our politicians. I've looked at both manifestos. They look largely the same. But the question is, will the people who are promising actually have the track record to deliver? Who has the track record of doing right for the Kenyan people? The person who has the track record in your eyes for doing right, that's the person you vote for. Yeah.
Okay. The person you vote for. Okay, you've heard about issues at Nyayo Stadium and Kasarani. There seems to be a contest on the same. Kenya Kwanza saying they paid for it, they have the receipts, they have the contract. Sports Kenya are saying, no, we have a peace caravan, and they're not revealing who is organizing that peace caravan. And Juneta said, sisi ndio tuko na ground. Akiulizwa karatasi ziko wapi anasema tulieni. What do you make of that?
Well, I certainly hope it is not a political issue, because it is very unfair for politicians to knock each other out of venues. If indeed Kenya Kwanza has booked, I do not think it will affect Azimio in any way, stopping them from holding their rally. In fact, if I was to tell Azimio anything, Kenya Kwanza is hell-bent on showing that Azimio is being a bully and Kenya Kwanza is a victim. They want the sympathy card. If you look at Rigathi Gachagua and how he talked, he made himself into the victim of Uhuru Kenyatta's regime, a victim of having betrayed Uhuru Kenyatta. And if they really want to lock them out, they will only be playing into the hands of Kenya Kwanza, which want to be seen as a victim of the system.
Okay. Your reviews, you have any reviews of the debate that happened on Tuesday, the Deputy President's debate? Was there value for Kenyans? People have complained that it wasted a lot of time on innuendos and personality politics than real issues that affect people. What are your reviews of the debate, and do you think spoke to the hearts of Kenyans?
Well, I think for me, those personal issues were critical, and I'll tell you why they were critical. Because we are talking about two camps. One camp that is said will deal with state capture, the other camp that is saying will deal with corruption. Now, the question becomes who has the character to deal with corruption, because corruption does affect on your character. We know that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So you want to see what is the character of the person you're voting for. So if, for example, you've got the character of Rigathi Gachagua, and I say the character of Rigathi Gachagua because when you look at the papers today, he's mentioned in two different places. The first place he's mentioned in is in a land issue worth 1.5 billion shillings, a piece of land. We're not talking about his frozen accounts, we're not talking about anything else, a piece of land worth 1.5 billion. And he told us that he's worth 800 million, which means that he deceived us. So someone who's deceived us about his personal wealth, do we expect him to have the genuineness to fight corruption? I expect not. And that's why for me, dwelling on the personal issues is an important issue, simply because you cannot fight corruption if your character is inclined towards corruption. In fact, Rigathi Gachagua said that one of his first things will to be unfreeze his accounts so that he can be able to afford a new house. So when he has said those things, then the debate for me showed me the character of this these people. It showed me who they are. And for me, one of the most important things, and I think I should frame it and put it as a plaque, Martha Karua saying she's not hungry for billions. That for me is an important thing. But because when you get into a position of power and those billions are passing through your hands all the time and you're hungry for billions, I am sure you'll pinch a few.
Okay. Going to IBC, have you heard about the Venezuelans who have been involved with IBC stickers? And does that speak into the confidence of IBC holding a credible election?
I think IBC is joking, and I'll tell you why it's joking. One of the tenets of a good election is transparency. I'm sure you know that, Gerald. And if transparency is a key tenet of an election, then it should not happen that people are bringing things into the country in an opaque way. You understand what I mean? Because up to now, where has Venezuela been mentioned anywhere in our elections? Where have we heard about Venezuelans coming in? And the IEBC had a meeting with political parties and other stakeholders. Why didn't they tell them that there are Venezuelans coming in? So the IEBC, whether they are genuinely coming or not, the fact is they have failed on one particular tenet of a credible election, and that is the issue of transparency. They must not be opaque. They must be transparent. Their operations must be clear. And you can imagine, Gerald, if you and I walked out of this building today and we met someone, a foreigner, with IEBC material for this coming election, wouldn't we arrest them ourselves? Why are you having IEBC things? Those are things that are dangerous based on the history of our country and how we've handled elections. Okay. Yeah.
So you don't have any confidence in IEBC to deliver a credible election?
No. I'm just saying this is a stain on the IEBC. I'm not saying I have no confidence because this has not been explained to me, but it is definitely a stain, and they need to work on their transparency.
Okay. All right. Okay. There are some issues. The issues that were raised at the debate, there are things that they both tiptoed on. One of them is corruption. There was no clear plan on how to fight corruption from both camps. Martha Karua says, we will deal with you, we will arrest you. But we have independent institutions that deal with corruption. So for them, the promise, for Martha, the promise that we'll arrest you, we'll deal with corruption. It's far-fetched. And also Kenya Kwanza as well didn't give a very clear way. They talk about institutionalizing the fight against corruption. But what is the process in this? How do you fix this? Another thing that they tiptoed on was the source of political campaign money. And both of them didn't seem to be going for each other. They didn't go for their necks. Those two places, it throws mud on the faces of those two campaign platforms.
One of the things that is critical to be understood is the fight against corruption is intrinsically tied to political goodwill. If the political class, for example, and I'll give you an example of a country like Venezuela, or in fact, Colombia is a better example.
Yes, you've also gone to Venezuela, finally.
I was talking about Colombia, just that Venezuela was in my head. If you look at Colombia, and when one of the most notorious drug dealers was sitting in parliament, of all places, and he was a political linchpin, you realized that the fight against narcotics went nowhere. They had the police, they had the army, they had all of these institutions, but without the goodwill of the people sitting in office, until that goodwill changed, that's when they began to deal with the issue of drug money. Now, why am I talking about drug money? Drug money and corruption are tied. They operate in the same way. They bribe politicians, they create an environment for it to thrive, etc. Now, the issue is, and this is a fact, Kenya has enough laws and institutions to fight corruption. The DCI is fighting corruption. The ESCC is fighting corruption. The ODPP is fighting corruption. The judiciary is fighting corruption. Where is the missing link? The missing link is in this country, there's never been political will to fight corruption. For example, if Mark BICHACHI today is arrested for corruption, the first thing that I will say is to say, I'm being targeted because because I support this political side or this political party. That's the first thing that will happen. So what is the change that is required? The change that is required is we need people in office who actually have the goodwill and track record of having actually dealt with corruption. I'll give you an example. When Martha was Minister of Water, she reduced the cost of digging a borehole from 6 million shillings to 1.5 million shillings, right? Now, that was a political action that saved the average Kenyan around 5 million shillings in terms of dealing with the price of water. So you need people like that. You need people with that proven track record of being able to deliver. Raila Odinga, when he reduced the cost of construction of roads, etc. So those are the things that need to happen. I unfortunately cannot give an example of on the other side of whether William Ruto was able to reduce the cost of fertilizer or reduce the cost of maize as a Minister of Agriculture. Unfortunately, I don't have those examples because they don't exist. But it is that track record.
Because they don't exist or because you can't say them?
No, they don't exist. Okay. Because the maize scandal and fertilizer scandal, which increased the cost of maize and fertilizer in this country, happened when William Ruto was Minister of Agriculture. Okay. Yes.
All right. Is it from BICHACHI? There's no track record in Kenya Kwanza. I wish you were here on time when the other guys as well.
I'm sorry, I was almost here. Then I
could rebut, but now I mean, there's no rebuttal. So we have one story. You can only believe one story. So all right, you were actually going home before you popped in. So maybe I can give you an opportunity to give you a tackle of the day.
My tackle of the day is this: be nice, be kind to each other. It's just 2 weeks or so to the election. At the end of the day, we will vote, and guess what? We will remain Kenyans. The color of your skin will not change. You will not grow more dreadlocks. You will remain.
For those who have them.
Yes, you will remain the same. And if you are going to remain the same, let Kenya remain the same. Let us progress. Let us not become enemies. Ndio tusibleed, ndio walid.
Tusibleed, ndio walid. I hope you're going to make time again.
Yes. What? For sure. I owe you. In fact, if you say Tuesday. Today after Tuesday, I'm here.
Tuesday. So on time?
I'll be here on time.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Can you face this camera? You'll be
on time. Tuesday, I'll be here on time. I promise that.
Okay. He has promised. I will see him again on Tuesday. It's been a pleasure having you guys. Thank you for those guys who have been online as well. I think we'll meet on YouTube. Asanteni sana watu wa diaspora. It's a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have you. And the guys on Facebook as well. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you, BICHACHI, for coming in a bit late. And also thank you, Mheshimiwa SHOLLEI, for making time this morning. It's been a pleasure having you on this edition of the Home Stretch. We are doing the Home Stretch series that guiding towards the elections. And I don't know if you have time. We can do panels from Tuesday to Friday. I don't know if you have time. Running towards the general election so that we can keep a tempo and analyzing every day. I don't know. We'll have that conversation. Okay, it's been a pleasure having you. Until Monday on the Common Sense edition, I wish you the very best. And I want to remind you that at Optiven is the only place where you get the best and affordable quality properties, value-added land and properties. We don't only sell land, we sell value-added properties. Ukifika pale unapata maji, unapata stima, unapata barabara. And we have an array of properties. We are having, tomorrow we are having an open day in Nanyuki at the Great Oasis Gardens. But at Great Oasis Gardens, we are having an open day here, Optiven. The Great Oasis Gardens, we're giving you at only 349,000, you can get an eighth of your plot. Come to Nanyuki at the Great Oasis Gardens opposite Olpejeta and next to the Mount Kenya Holiday Homes. We'll be having an open day tomorrow and I will be there. I'll be in Nanyuki tomorrow. So kujeni tupige story mambo ya shamba, and we're giving you very flexible terms and you can access your property. Adi miezi 12. For 12 months, you can pay your property pole. So come to Optiven. We're having an open day tomorrow at the Great Oasis. But if you're on another property, we have properties in Kitengela, tukona property Kejari, tukona property Masaku, and the property Optiven got you covered. Value-added properties. Optiven continues to inspire possibilities. Wale wa radio tukutane kesho radio jambo asubuhi jioni tupatane pia Kas FM Kapkirwak. Lakini asubuhi mchana tupatane pale Nanyuki on Optiven Open Day, the Great Oasis Optiven Open Day. Until then, see you and bye-bye.